Hello everyone, and peace of Christ all of you. Please invite your friends, and if you are a Muslim, invite your 4 wives, secret wives, unknown wives, children wives. And let us talk today about the preserved Quran. You know, if we go right now and search in YouTube, we will find tons of videos made by Muslims, millions of articles about the preserved Quran. The preserved Quran. And you know, for me, I do not really care if the Quran preserved or not. What I care for, how stupid the preserved Quran is. Actually, you made my job easier when you say this is stupidity is original. You will make my job harder if you say this is stupidity is not from Allah. So the Muhammadan, they have a lot of videos, you know, if you search online, and they are responding, I don't know, to me, to who, I don't know really, proving the Quran was preserved, a response to Christian. Interesting. You know, there is a Muslim website, just in one page. Just in one page. This is a Muslim website. And this is one book. And this is written by Imam al-Suyuti, which is Mimi Hijab. He mentioned his name in one video at least maybe 50, 60 times. How many times? At least 50, 60 times. All of those 57 times in his book. 57 report of corrupting the Quran. This is just in one book, and the name of the book, Al-Itqanu fi Ulum al-Quran. Like Itqan, like, you know, let us say translation, like to, you know, to learn so good about the science of Quran. If I use Google Translation, and I can do that in the front of your eyes. Give me a second. I will open another browser, Google browser, so we can use Google Translation. This is Google browser. The link, by the way, is in the info, in case you like to read it. Translate into English. Hadith mention, the translation is not coming really accurate, the corruption of the Quran. 57 report. By who? By Al-Imam al-Suyuti. The translation here, translating the word Itqan as imperfection of the science of the Quran. If you read from the first like one in the top, let me post the link for you first, so you can open it in your side, maybe because the text now is coming so small. You can open it in your side. Just be sure to open it in Google browser, and your phone can translate for you, or if you are using your computer, it's the same. The first thing in the top, it says, from Ibn Umar قال, he said that one of you, he says, I have all the Quran. The one of you says, which means in general, says, he says, I have the entire Quran. The fact he does not know it all. A lot of the Quran is gone. Do you see it? This is first report, second report, third report, fourth report, sixth report, 7, 8, 9, 20, blah, 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 blah. All of this is stories. All of those are report. I mean, the whole page is flooded with hundreds of verses missing in the Quran. In fact, in one chapter alone, if you go to the second report or the third report in the page, it says here, in the authority of a blah, 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 in the authority. As you see, all of those are people of authority in Islam. Those are not potato, tomato. This is not a guy in YouTube, his name is Mimi Hijab, and not the other girl, her name is Lili Dawa. Those are people of authority in Islam. What they are saying? They are saying how Al-Ahzab was counted, the chapter of Al-Ahzab. I said it is 72 verses or 73. We see they are not even sure. He said it were the same as the chapter of Al-Baqarah. The same what? The same size of the chapter of the cow. You know, the original of Islam is a Hindu religion, as you know. And that's why Muhammad, he have a lot of things about the cow. So, how many verses are missing in one chapter alone? Even Aisha herself, she said the same. That the chapter of the cow used to be equal to the chapter of Al-Ahzab. And yet those Muhammadan, they go and they made tons of articles about and videos about the preservation of the Quran. Well, isn't it this is your books? Aren't they those your scholars? Is Aisha is a liar? Is Aisha the wife of your prophet, Muslim Sunni? You know, the Muslim Sunni, they worship Muhammad, and anything slept with Muhammad is like holy for them, just because she opened her legs for Muhammad. If you read with me here, it says, Aisha, she said. Who said that? Aisha. That the chapter of Al-Ahzab used to be equal to the chapter of the cow. So how many chapters we have right now in Al-Ahzab? We have 33, 32 according to this. He's not sure. But right now we have 286 verses in the chapter of the cow, unless you are a follower of what's his name? Khalifa. You know, then you have 285 or 284. He took some verses from some chapters. 286 verses Al-Ahzab. Let us see Al-Ahzab together, how many verses it is. This is the chapter of Al-Ahzab. We go to the end. Here it says 73. How many missing in one chapter? Why Muslim they lie to Muslims? Why they are bragging about preserving Quran when this is the mother of the believer, Aisha, confirming that the chapter of Al-Ahzab used to be equal to the chapter of the cow. We have 213 verses missing in one chapter alone. Do we need even to continue with the proofs and reference? Do you see the hypocrite? Do you see the liars? Do I need to make a book? I mean, this is alone is enough. Look, the whole page is talking about how the Quran is gone. This is only in one book written by the Imam al-Suyuti, which Mimi Hijab, he keep mentioning his name to prove his points. If you remember, Mimi Hijab, he talked about the word kul. What the word kul? وَمَا عَلَيْهِ تَدُلْ. So Mimi Hijab, he keep talking about the word kul, and he quote the Imam al-Suyuti, how he explained. He wrote a book about the word kul, just one word. So this is their Imam reporting 57 story, and each story reporting massive loss of the Quran. Did you guys save the reference, the link I gave you? Anyone save the reference, the link I gave you? Did we save it? Even though it's in Arabic, it can help you a lot if you want to refute some Abduls. You add it to your favorite. Anytime they say to you something, shuffle it in their face. And this is not an atheist website. This is a Muslim website. Don't fool yourself, think that this is a website made by Christians or by non-Muslims. No, this is a very Muslim website. We have a Muslim, his name Muhsin Gulani. This guy, he posts a lot of text. He is calling me coward. Let us call him. Let us see. He want to talk to me, and he's claiming I'm running away from him. Maybe he's not answering. Maybe he's practicing halal boyfriend. Not answering. Okay, potato. Coward. If you are a Muslim and you like to join us, feel free, just text me and I will call you immediately. However, you know, I'm not here to discuss if the Quran is preserved or not. As I said many times, I prefer a preserved Quran from any preserved Quran. I wish all those verses are missing in the Quran. They are there because I am sure they are going to give us more laughable topic, comedy, to laugh at it. And I believe that all those chapters and verses are missing for a reason. They are missing for a reason. I believe when the hadith says that a goat ate the Quran, I believe it is the Muslims who ate the Quran. The Muslims, not the goat. And I will prove it to you. In every single article or video made by Muslim, they say that the reason the Quran is preserved, that the Muslim, they memorize the Quran. Wonderful. When the goat ate the Quran, did the goat eat the memory of the Muslims? And what verses are missing? Very important verses. Stoning to death for fornication of a married man, and breastfeeding for adult 10 times. Isn't it really weird that the goat, she went inside the house of Muhammad when Muhammad is dead? Nobody noticed that the goat entered the bedroom. The Quran is under his bed. The goat, she flipped the Prophet. Meh. And then she flipped him in the floor. She grabbed the Quran. She started flipping the Quran with her tongue until she reached the pages about breastfeeding. Interesting. I mean, this goat is very selective in the food. She don't eat any pages. She did not eat the Quran. She ate only certain verses. Who in the world want to believe such a garbage? And if the goat, she ate the Quran, I mean, if she ate, let us say, those are in two different chapters, you know, the breastfeeding for adult and the fornication is two different chapters. So how come she ate, I mean, she ate half of the page in one place, and then she flipped the book, and then she kept flipping, and then she found the page she is looking for, and she grabbed it and she chewed it? Who in the world want to believe such a garbage? The one who ate the Quran is you Muslims. Because even if the goat ate it, you keep saying that you memorize the Quran. Who can call me and recite for me the 10-time breastfeeding for adult verses? Who is the one who can give us the preserved verses? As you see, this is very Sahih Hadith. Even Aisha, she practiced it. Mimi Hijab don't like it. Mimi Hijab, his opinion that this is only was for a certain women. Look like Islam used to make law only for one person, certain women, and he go around and he asked Muslim women to give their breast. So he go to a Muslim sheikh, he says to him, can your wife give her tits for me? Another Muhammadan, he said to him, what kind of mannerism are these? Shame on you, Muhammad. The fact is, the Muslims in general, they are hypocrite. How come you are asking him for mannerism? You don't ask your God and your prophet who sent those verses. So the story about the goat eating the Quran, it does not make any sense. I believe that you Muslims is the one who ate it and you are the goat. Because all evidence is against you. You will not find one single Muslim video don't say that the Muslim memorized the whole Quran. Muslim memorized the whole Quran. Muslim memorized the whole Quran. Suddenly, not a single one of them can tell us, okay, what is the verses for 10-time breastfeeding for adult and 5-time? You see, the hadith is so clear. Those are revealed. Those are revealed verses. You see, they call it verse. They don't say a hadith. This is a verse, which means it's coming from Allah. The verses of the stoning and the breastfeeding adult and adult 10-time revealed. I mean, how clear it can be made that this is about being a verse. Verses in the Quran. And then what the excuse is that the goat, she entered into the house and the bedroom of Muhammad. Look like she have even the key. Maybe she hijacked the security code. And you know, imagine a prophet of God, he died. How many people will be in the house in that moment? Nobody noticed that the goat, she entered the room? I have some theory, but I am not sure if it's true. There's one theory saying that this goat was sent by the Mossad. In fact, there's a video online of a Shia cleric in Iraq. He claimed from Hezbollah, he claimed that Ali was killed by the Mossad. Let me see if I can find you the video. Ali was killed by the Mossad. I guess I cannot find it in English, so I have to search for it in Arabic. Give me a second. I mean, you know, they speak about IQ, etc. Well, there is no IQ with this religion. The second you are part of it, you have no IQ at all. Those people, they are obsessed with the Jews. I found the video. There's tons of them actually. And I will use Google translation. Qais al-Khazali, he is a big leader for Shia in Iraq. He said the Israeli Mossad behind the killing of Ali ibn Abi Talib, the cousin of Muhammad. The Mossad. The Mossad killed Ali. May Allah pleased be with him. A lecturer of Qais al-Khazali. And this is his image. I mean, yeah, we have evidence. But at that time, there is no Mossad, there is no Israel. What the heck is that? But that have a reason, because their false prophet, he blamed the Jews for everything. As an example, Muhammad, he claimed that if there is no Jews, no food would decay. So the reason you have a refrigerator at your home is because of the Jews. And if there is no Eve, there is no woman betray her husband. And the Muslim, they claim that the Christian in their Bible, they blame Eve for the sin of Adam. This is what they say. And they say, and they laugh at us, and they say, we do not accept the original sin. But the second you start reading, you will see how stupid this religion is. So, shall we blame the Mossad for sending a goat, eating the Quran, and then they say to us that Muhammad, he ordered and commanded to collect the Quran? That's absolutely false. This is Sahih al-Bukhari. And this is the story about how and why they start collecting the Quran. Most of those people who memorize the Quran, they don't memorize the whole thing. Like they start collecting. This guy, he knew 2 verses. That guy, he knew 5 verses. And you know, you can add whatever you want. In fact, they themselves in the video they made to respond to me, they said that if somebody bring a verses of the Quran, he have to bring 2 witnesses. 2 witnesses? What if the 3 of them, they are lying? So there's only 3 people. They knew this verse. In fact, in the books of Muslims, it says that some verses nobody even heard of them before. Here it says, when the warriors, the gang of Muhammad, they get killed in the war of Yamama, and this war, by the way, if Muhammad lose, Islam is demolished. Almost, actually, almost he lost. This is why a major casualty of Muhammad friends were slaughtered. So when the major of the campaign of Muhammad were slaughtered in this war, and they suffer heavy casualty, as you see, in the day of the battle of Yamama, he said, I am afraid that there will be more casualty among the Quran, those who recite Quran or no Quran, in other battlefield, whereby a large part of the Quran may be lost. And here you ask yourself, is the Quran preserved by Allah or by the act of the believers? Are you with me, guys? The one who's asking questions have nothing to do with our topic. Please, I mean, you guys, okay, why Christian Prince has several YouTube channels? Which one is official? All of them are my official. What's your business? Don't you see that YouTube target me, the Muslim target me, and do you need to be genius to know? Is that a problem for you? Which channel? Is that like a train station? Are you changing countries? It's a stupid YouTube. Weirdo. Like as if I'm asking him to drive from from a channel to a channel. Take the train from Piccadilly and then stop in Trafalgar Square and then change the train and go to light railway. What I can say? And instead of focusing on what I'm saying, they are worried about why. How come he have many channels? This remind me of a silly student when the teacher is teaching. He put his hand up. He want to go to the bathroom. So may lost, the Quran may lost, large part of the Quran may lost, unless you collect it. So as you see, it was an act of the Muslims. So how the Muslims even they claim that Allah is the one preserved the Quran? I mean, even what they in their book saying, it was the act of the Muslims. And not only that, Umar, Abu Bakr said, Abu Bakr, this is the caliphate. He said to Umar, how can I do something which Allah apostle has not done? If you watch their video about preservation of the Quran, you will see that the Prophet was preserving the Quran. But as you see, this is a proof that Muhammad never preserved any Quran, because he is saying, why I want to do something Muhammad himself did not do. He is the Prophet. And this is after Muhammad's death. Why I want to do that? Do you see it? Why we should collect the Quran if the Prophet of Islam, the child molester himself, he never did. So what we find out, that first, it's not Allah preserving the Quran, and the Quran never preserved, as we show you tons of reference. The Quran says that inna alayna jam'uhu wa qur'anahu. It is on us to collect and to recite. And this is actually alone proof that Muhammad is a fraud, because he gave a false prophecy that the one who will collect the Quran is Allah. Chapter 57, verse number 15. But in every single video Muslim they make, they say the caliphate, he is the one who collected. But this is against the Quran. The Quran say clearly that the one who collect or should collect the Quran is Allah. And as you see, we are showing you reference. We are not making a false statement. We are not making a bubbles as the Muhammadan do. They are religion of bubbles. Too much bubbles, and there's even no gas in it. However, today I'm going to focus on something different. The preserved Quran, is it made by Allah? The Quran says no. In the silly stupid Quran, there's a holy chapter. It's called the chapter of the ants. I mean, the whole chapter is a chapter of the ants. You Muslims are lucky there's no chapter of the cockroaches. Okay, why it's called the chapter of the ants? Because this chapter, the ant is the one who is talking, and Allah is copy paste what the ant she said. In other way, Allah is quoting the ant. I mean, imagine I make a book, and as you know, I wrote many books, and then I quote an ant. I want to teach you wisdom. So what I do, to give you an example of wisdom, I quote what the ant said. Who is quoting the ant? Allah. Who is quoting who? Have you ever heard of God quoting a rabbit, a cat, a chicken? You see that in the Quran. Let us go to the Quran so we can enjoy the wisdom of the God of Islam, Mrs. Ant, sorry. If you go in chapter 27, what is the name of the chapter? An-Naml. What An-Naml mean? Ants. Not ant. An-Naml is ants. The translator is an idiot. An-Naml. Okay. When you read the first verse in the chapter of the ants, it says here, Ta, Sin. Okay, Muslims, what does that mean? Those are the signs of the Quran and manifest book. What the heck is that? Who can call me and tell me what Ta, Sin mean? What the heck is that? Because Muhammad is copying from other book, from the Aramaic. He do not know what those are meant. Those are coding letters for the topic. Ta, Sin. You ask any Muslim, what does that mean? They will tell you Allah knows best, as usual. And then talking about Moses, okay. Moses sees God, speak to God. Who is in the fire? If you remember, once we asked a Muslim who is in the fire, the Muslim took him 10,000 years to answer me. Moses used his staff. Moses, he put his hand in the pocket. Blah blah. And okay, and then Dawood. Okay, now from Moses we jump to Dawood, which means David, and Solomon. Okay. And then Solomon, he inherited David. Okay. And then Allah, he taught Solomon the language of the birds. What? This is the preserved Quran. Are you ready for Disneyland? You know, when we ask the Muslims, okay, Jesus can control nature, Jesus can create from the mother bird, Jesus can make the blind see, he can resurrect people from death, he is in heaven, he can heal the leper. I mean, what is missing? Nothing. What Muhammad can do? He can have sex with his children, beside goats. Okay. And now we find that Muhammad, he did not know how to read, how to write his own language. But Allah is entrusted to teach Solomon the language of the chickens. Isn't a chicken as a bird? It's a bird, right? So Allah, he taught Solomon the language of the chicken. And now the King Solomon, peace be upon him, he go to the rooster. He says to him, and the rooster, he says, translation. He said to him, I am Solomon, the Muslim. The rooster, he says, get lost. Are you stupid? I have no idea what you are saying. Who taught you my language? This is not my language. This is sound weird. So God, he is interested to teach Solomon the language of the birds. But he did not teach Muhammad how to read his name. What about Allah take vacation for a few days and teach Muhammad the alphabet? How he write them, how he connect them, how he can read it? No. He cannot teach in Arab. You know, it's very hard to teach in Arab. A Jewish guy is very easy to teach him anything. Remember, Solomon is a Jewish guy. It took Allah maybe 5 minutes to teach him all the language of the birds. And then, after Allah, he taught Solomon the language of the birds. And he gave him from everything. What do you want? I mean, knowledge and everything. I mean, this guy, Solomon, is a history by himself. And his hosts were mastered to Solomon. Okay, who is his host? Genie. Ooh, I am the genie. And by the way, this genie was always in the bikini. If you go and search for Muslims Afrit, you will see always the Afrit is wearing a bikini. Why? Don't ask me. And always he looked like an Asian guy, and he's bald. You know, the word Afrit is coming from legions from before Islam. It's not even an Arabic word. And you will find the word in the Quran. This Mr. Afrit, he is a devil. But he have a special feature. He's so fast, brother. And Ifrit, this is the same chapter, by the way. Let me see if the Muslim, they have any drawing for the Afrit. Let us see how the Afrit look like. Maybe I better search in Arabic. Hold on. And now the Muslim, they will start saying, oh, the Quran is not preserved. This is not from Allah. You know, this is somebody put it there, okay? Yeah, and it's not Allah who did that. Allah will not say such a stupid thing. So this is the preserved Quran. Here we go. This is how the Afrit is printed and presented in the Islamic movies. This is Afrit. He's always big, bald, and he have little hair coming from the top of his head. He come to you and he say, Shubik Lubik, Afrit Bain Idik. This is the Afrit. So Mr. Afrit was one of millions and billions of genie and Satan who work for Solomon. And he is so good in stealing things. So he told Solomon, after they told her that she have a nice, huge throne covered by jewelries and gold and silver, he said to Solomon, do you want me to go and bring it to you in 2 seconds? Before even you blink your eye. Look how fast he is. How come Allah did not give Muhammad the Afrit? In fact, in the hadith, it says that many Afrit, and they are black, they were riding Muhammad all day long on his back. Going back to our story about Mrs. Ant, may Allah bless her. And this ant, as you see, is very important, because if she is not important, why Allah will quote her statement? You see, when a king, he quotes somebody, the person must be important. Now we are talking about Allah quoting the ant, right? Allah himself, he is quoting the ant. And here you notice right away that the Quran is made by the ant. Read with me. Tell you when they came to the valley of the ants, who is talking now? Allah. This line, Allah is talking. An ant, she said. This is who is talking? The ant. So the preserved Quran is not a preserved word of Allah, as they claim, is a preserve of God narrated what an ant and rat and cat and elephant, a mosquito, a genie said. Where is God here? You can tell there is somebody telling a story here. Listen, where is God? What is? Even in the Quran it says that Solomon, he says, we've been taught. Where is Allah words? So what is the Quran in the Quran? So the Quran is he said, she said, including Mrs. Ant. If you go right now and search in Google for this book, it's called The Legions of the Jews. The Legions of the Jews. You can get it for free because this is a book written more than 100 years ago. So it's lost the copyright on it, as I know. And you can find the story of the ant. This is a legend. This is a fiction story. This is a kid's story. The silly Muhammad, he took a story made for kids and he made it a story of God. All those things about Solomon, which you see in the Quran, none of them is real. They are so stupid, so dummy, they are even a silly cartoon. What we find here, that Solomon, he have a flying carpet. Solomon, he have an army of chickens. Solomon, he have army of genies. Solomon, he have an army of diving genie, builder genies, jewelries making genie. I mean, they have all kind of skills. Some of them they are, and not only that, some of those genies, they are even in jail because they did not do good job. And now we are talking about an ant. The ant who is making Quran, and the Muslim, they say, who can make Quran like Allah? Nobody. But as you say, Allah is quoting the ant. So who made this Quran? The ant. If I read this, who said this? An ant. Who said this? Solomon. Where is the word of God? This is a storyteller guy, and now Solomon, he decided to check on the birds because his army is an army of birds. So he went and he checked on the hoopoe. Oops, what is the hoopoe? The hoopoe is not to be found. What is this guy? Why he's so important for Solomon? I mean, this guy, he have, you know, according to Muslims, his army all the way from Jerusalem all the way to Persia. That means, like, you know, hundreds of millions of people. Suddenly, Solomon is checking on this bird. He found that this bird is missing. From all his army, he did not notice anyone is missing, only this guy. He must be a big general. As you see, he's wearing this hat. And then Solomon, because he is a wise king, he said, where is this bird gone? He's absent without excuse. See how organized he is in his army. Even if you are a chicken, you cannot leave without asking for permission. There's ranks. You speak to the surgeon speak to the lieutenant speak to the major speak to the colonel, and then you speak at the end to the prophet. The bird, he is gone, he is absent without my permission. So he swear by Allah, if he did not give me a good reasoning, I will make him a barbecue. Put yourself in the shoes of this bird now. The king, prophet of Allah, a Muslim prophet, coming to check on you, and you are not there. And then it turned that this bird, he was looking for water. In his way, he found a woman, she have no hair in her legs. And because she have no hair in her legs, he could not resist the temptation to tell Solomon. Finally, there's a Middle Eastern woman, she don't have hair like a gorilla. Look like at that time, women, they used to have hair like a chimpanzee. So he come to Solomon and he told him, oh, I was away, I found a woman, by the way, she have a great etc., and then she have a nice legs, you know. And then the story says that when Sulaiman he went there, she walked in a mirror floor. When she left her skirt to work, they saw a lot of hair in her legs. The Muslim, they say it was the shaitan who made her legs full of hair, so Sulaiman will not love her. True story. Those things always happen. But going back to the ant. Who is a Muhammadan would like to call me? And tell me why Allah is quoting the ant. And why he is quoting what the bird said. You know, I understand you can say he is quoting what Shaitan said. Shaitan is a very important figure in religion. The ant. And then you claim that every word in the Quran made by Allah. So who's talking here? Is that made by Allah? Verse number 21. Huh? And Muhammad, he taught them that the ants, they can talk. Now we knew that all creatures, every creature, no matter what, they can communicate. I believe even bacteria, they have their own way of communication. But in the Quran, as you see, the ant, she said, in Arabic, when you say qala or qalat, that means you open your mouth, you have a tongue, and you spoke. If you go right now, you will find that ants, they don't talk. They are mute and they are deaf. We can say they talk by communication, as the word talk mean, by vibration and chemical. But they are deaf. And they are mute. If you read the story, you will find that this ant, she was speaking in the ground while Solomon was flying in the top of his flying carpet. Imagine you are on the sky and there's an ant in the ground. One of the ant, she said to the other ants, hide, otherwise Solomon will crush you. Solomon, who is driving his flying carpet like Alibaba, Sinbad, all kind of fiction stories coming from Persia and India, he heard the ant. And what make it more funny, that if we go just 2 verses before, Allah, he taught Solomon the language of the birds. Yet Solomon, he understand the language of the ants. Do you see it? Isn't it fun that I say I taught Solomon the language of the donkeys, and then Solomon is speaking to the chickens? How Allah, he taught him the language of the birds? He did not say I taught him the language of the ants. And now he heard the ant, which is mute and deaf, which making the story more silly, talking. And when Solomon, he heard her speech, she was making a speech, by the way, she's holding a microphone. Yeah, this is a speaker corner, shouting. Solomon, he smiled, laughing at its words. Do you see the word words? This is not my translation. The ant, she said words. As you see, it's Quran. To bring more confusion to your head, I want to show you something else. We will go back to the bird thing. The preserved Quran never was in Arabic. How we can prove that? Read with me. This is Sahih al-Bukhari. This is what? This is Sahih al-Bukhari. Muhammad, he received Quran in a sound of a bell. They ask him, how you receive Quran, Prophet? How the revelation come to you? He said, sometime it come to me as the following. Comes to me with the voice which resemble the sound of a ringing bell. And when this happened, stayed upon me, which means this guy, he faint, he go crazy. Obviously, he's mentally ill. You can ask any doctor about hearing such a noise. Now, Muhammad, he received a sound of a bell. Tararan, tararan. Tararan, tararan. How the bell sound become Arabic? Are you with me? It confirmed that the Quran never was in Arabic. The Quran was given to Muhammad as a sound of a bell. Then how Muhammad was able to transform the sound of the bell into a sound of Arabic language? The answer is very easy. It is obvious that the first one who developed the Morse code, it was Prophet of Allah, or maybe Allah. So maybe in one hand Allah gave him sound of a bell, same time he gave him the code to open the meaning. What you heard, this was a verse number 1 from the chapter of the cow. It says, based on the code, the cow, she said, she is hot and she is waiting for a male ox. So Allah, he sent the sound of a bell. Muhammad, he don't even know Arabic. He do not know how to write his name. And now Muhammad, he received a sound of a bell, and then he speak it to us in Arabic. So what Muhammad he received is jungle bells, jungle bells. What Muhammad he said to the Muslims, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, As-Saytanur Rahim. Mentally ill. And that explained to us who is Muhammad. Obviously, he have a mental illness. And actually, the hadith confirmed 100 of times that Muhammad is suffering from mental illness, to the point he keep fainting. Why he faint? Why he faint when he received revelation? Why? You know, while Jesus was healing people from diseases, nobody can heal. Muhammad used to faint every few seconds. Let's read. We have tons of reference, but this is an example. The Messenger of Allah fainted when he was sick. Well, he's always sick. I mean, if he is not sick, why a man at the age of 54, he would desire a girl she is 5 years old? So he's fainted, and then he woke up. He said, has the time for a prayer gone? They said, yes, yes, yes. He said, okay, tell Bilal to call for that. And tell Abu Bakr to lead the prayer, the people prayer. Then he fainted. His tongue is out. Then he woke up and he said, has the time for a prayer come? They said, yes. He said, okay, tell Bilal to go for the adhan and tell Abu Bakr to lead the prayer. Then he fainted. What the heck? Then he woke up and he said, has the time for a prayer come? They said, yes. He said, tell Bilal to go for adhan and Abu Bakr to lead the people for prayer. Aisha, she said, Aisha, she can't take it no more. Abu Bakr is her father. She said, listen, Abdul, potato, my father is a tender-hearted man. He's old man. He cannot stand all this time in this prayer. You keep asking him to do prayer. What if you tell somebody else to do that? Would be better. Then the Prophet fainted. I mean, she just finished her sentence. The guy, he fainted. I'm telling you, this is what happened when you get a battery is not made in USA. Then woke up. Like, what the heck? How many times he fainted, woke up already? And then he said again, he did not even hear what Aisha was. She just told him, don't tell my dad to do it. He's so old, he's tired. So he woke up, he said, to go over there, and we're going to lead the prayer. You know, what? This is Muhammad. Somebody says, Christian Prince, I want to expose your lies. Why you blocked me? I mean, you see how much you are blocked to the point you can't talk to me in the chat. Why you don't call me? Mr. Blocked me. Are you afraid if you call me, you will faint too, like your prophet? You know, the funny is about the Muhammadan, I show on the screen everything I'm reading. And then they say to me, I want to expose your lies. Christian friends, I want to expose your lies. Why you block me? So how you are blocked but you can't text? And how I am lying and I'm showing you the hate in front of you on the screen? I will tell you what the reason you are saying that. You drank too much camel urine and you mixed it with camel poo-poo. And you took a shower after that with bi'r bida, which have stinky garbage and women blood from period and dead dogs. And that all cause you symptom of a disease called hukubuku haram. So why you don't call me Mr. Blocked me? As long you can expose my lies. Which lies I said? Are you saying that the ant story in the Quran is a lie from Allah? You got a point, brother. In fact, you will not understand what I'm saying to you unless I speak to you like Zakir Naik. But the Tatar, Mr. Block me. He said that Christian Prince is lying to him. And this is true. Because the Christian Prince is not lying. Why he is not blocking him? Zakir Naik is not blocked. He can text, as you say. You know. And what about you? Are you blocked too? Call me or give me your Skype. I will call you. Good and friends. First of all, I don't use Skype. The Corona Yoka. So how you call me, man? How you speak to me? First of all, good and friends, I did not call you on your line, and you are intimidating my voice. I'm what? You are intimidating my voice. Are you saying that you are not the one who's talking? Good and friends, you are suffering from problem, and you are in voices, and you think this is me talking to you. Do you think what happened to me now is the same what happened to Prophet Muhammad? I hear voices. Good and friends, first of all, Prophet Muhammad, when he hear voices, that's because he did too much pressure on him. Is what? Too much pressure on him. Pressure? Exactly. But where is the pressure coming from? Because the Prophet Muhammad is the Prophet. And when you are a Prophet, a lot of pressure will happen with you. Can you explain and elaborate? As an example, Prophet Muhammad has 13 wives. Okay. That means he has 13 mother-in-law. Okay. And you can imagine the tremendous pressure can happen to you if you have 13 mother-in-law. You got the point there, Zakir Naik. Exactly. So the Prophet have a special sense to him because he has 13 mother-in-law, so he have a lot of pressure on him. And therefore, he have a special situation. So the Prophet, he have 13 mother-in-law, and therefore he have a special situation, correct? Good then, friends, I did not say special situation, I said a situation. What the difference? Okay, I will tell you the difference. In English, when you say situation, that means you have to pay tuition to the Prophet. What? As an example, in the Quran it says, if you want to see the Prophet, you have to pay him tuition. Hold on. In the Quran it says, if I want to speak to the Prophet, I have to pay him tuition. Listen, friends. First of all, we are using the English dictionary today. But in the old days, there is no such a dictionary. Okay. In the old days it says, pay him charity. Pay him what? Charity. Charity. Okay. So if I want to meet the Prophet in private, I have to pay the Prophet charity. Why? Because, first of all, the Prophet is, you know, like he lost his job. He what? He lost his job? Chapter 58, verse number 12. Nobody can see Muhammad unless he pay him first. What the heck is that? I mean, even the scammers in YouTube didn't do that. You have to pay the Prophet. Look. Oh, who you believe when you want to consult with the messenger of Allah. Give him some coins, some money, bonbons. Spend something in the charity. No money, no honey. And the Prophet, the second you pay, he will obey. Knock, knock. Do you have money? Sir, I'm poor. Get lost. Knock, knock. Do you have money? Do you accept credit card? Absolutely. My name is Ali Dawah and you are welcome. And now I'm going to give you a fatwa for secret wife. Is that really your voice? Excuse me. Allah created me with such a voice. I speak like a Ranzandar. You're like what? Zanzandar. Oh, okay. All right. Well, it makes sense now. Okay. So where is the Muslims who wanna call me and get me busted? As you see, all the Quran, either the ant is talking, either I mean, you have a zoo, man. I mean, you have a chapter of the elephant, chapter of the ant, chapter of the cow, chapter. I mean, what? Oh boy. If there is any Muhammadan would like to to do some match with me, including androtates. He's busy now. His web camera business is busy. Halal prostitution. Anyone? Okay, anyhow, one. So they claim they can refute me. How the Muslim they refute Christian Prince, by the way? The second I show them any reference, the Muslim they will answer you this. Look what they will say. Okay, 3P. This hadith reported by tomato. Tomato, she said to potato. Potato, he says to potato. Potato says to Susu. Susu says to Dudu. Dudu says to Mimi. Mimi is very well known to be a liar. Therefore, this hadith is rejected. We solved the problem. That's it. And now a Christian Prince is a liar. But in their website, it doesn't say that. And you know, if those people are liars, why even you mention them? Why you mention what they say? Are you mentally ill? If it's proven that all those people are fraud, why you say, he said, she said, etc., blah, 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 the prophet said, if none of them said that anyway? But this is the only way to duct tape the stupidity of Islam. As an example, not limited. When we read this story about the ants, who of you see this is not hadith now. This is a pure Quran, the one you claim is preserved. Who of you would like to call me and tell me how Suleiman, who is a human being, he's a human being. He's not an angel. He was flying in the sky and he heard an ant, which is a mute and deaf, speaking. Who can call me and tell me how this amazing thing happened? All right. I will tell you how that happened. And now they will say to you, Christian Prince is lying. We can go right now and search for how this happened, written, explained by the Muhammadan. Shall we? So the Muhammadan cannot say, oh, he's lying. Alislam.org, very much Islamic. Okay, as you see. Here you will see the account of Suleiman. In Arabic they call him Suleiman. What happened exactly with Suleiman? A lot of amazing details. Allah taught him the language of the birds. They are quoting for us now Quran, as you see here, all the way to the end. But here we have more details, and those all are authentic because Muhammad never lied, and Muslims are very truthful people. And they do business with them. Sheikh al-Tabrasi, he says, has narrated that Shaitan had made for Suleiman a one-pressing long platform of gold and silk. Please sit down. The story is long, and we are going to fly with the boing, boing, boing. Who is the one who made the platform? Shaitan. The platform is made from what? Gold and silk. And also, it made a pulpit in the middle of the platform, full of gold, in which he used to sit and around him. I mean, this idiot, he sat on gold. What about giving me some so I can buy a new car? You sit on it, you idiot. Is that fair? A lot of gold. And there were 3,000 chairs. Don't you think the number of the chairs is so small? Only 3,000? In the top of the flying carpet. Okay. Of gold, even the chairs are made of gold. I mean, this is really messed up. I wish I was in his time. When I'm leaving, I say, sir, can I take my chair with me? And silver. What? Now I'm unhappy. Why not all of them, they are gold? They don't even match together. Chairs of silver, chairs of gold. Yuck. In these days, the prophet used to sit in a golden chair. Oh, in these days. Aha. In these days. Now we understand that in those days is different. The ulama, which mean the scholars, they sit on silver chairs. Okay. So how many prophet there was there? As long the silver chairs are for the scholars. That means the rest are all in their prophets. Around them, all humans and shaitans, Satan, and the genie, they stood. Man, we are standing up. They are sitting and we are standing. And birds, even the birds. What the birds are doing? The birds, they shed them. Okay, are you sure it says shed them or shit on them? I mean, are you saying shedded? Is that correct in English? The birds, they shedded them with their wings. Look at the true story, which is proving Allah to be God and Muhammad to be prophet. Solomon is sitting on flying carpet. 3,000 chairs made of gold and silver around him. And he is sitting in the top of gold and a lot of gold. And now the birds are flying in the top of the flying carpet, and it is shitted them with their wings. I'm afraid with something else. The breeze, Sabah, carried it according to the capacity in the sky. 1 month from the morning to evening. So this flying carpet can fly by 1 morning to night, a distance of 1 month journey. I mean, you can tell how slow this flying carpet. I will tell you why. Because 1 month journey in what speed? In the speed of the camel. This is nothing. But anyway, let it go. And for another month, every morning. In other tradition, it's narrated that Imam Muhammad al-Baqir, that Allah gave him the kingdom, Allah gave the kingdom to Sulaiman from the east to the west. He ruled 700 years. Only? I heard it is 699 and 9 months. What is the proof that there are 700, not 600 years and 99 years and 9 months and 9 days and 9 hours? Solomon, brother, he ruled for 700 years and 7 months. Are you sure the 7 days is not missing and 7 minutes and 7 seconds? Every man and jinn and shaitan and the devil and the birds and the wild animal were subservient to his command. I would love to be Suleiman at that time. Hey, rabbit, bring me some carrot. Oh, okay, sir. You want long carrot? Small carrot? What kind of carrot? You stupid, give me any carrot. Don't argue. And you. Give me some milk. The guy, he have command all over the animals. All of them, even pigs. My admins, they love my English. I feel sorry for them. They live in England. They don't speak good English. You know, those people, they, you know, people who live in England, like, hey, mate, how you doing, mate? Like, what the heck? Like, do you have what and the what? Like, what the heck? Yeah, what do I do? And that is supposedly their English. Listen, here the English. Here is the. Okay, I will tell you now a different story. I will change the topic. My cousin Shakespeare, who they call him there Shakespeare, trying to change his identity. My cousin Shakespeare, he is the one who wrote the book. It's called Shakira Bakira. And then those English people, they took the book and they changed the name and they called it The Tale of Two Cities. I'm telling you. Anyway, back to the story. And by the way, all those stories are true. All of them. I mean, you remember the Muslim, he says he want to call me to prove that I am a liar? I'm reading from their website and they say to me, Christian Brands is lying. He's lying. You know, when I started my broadcast, honestly, I felt so sleepy. I said to myself, I hope I will not sleep when I'm talking. Oh boy. But now I feel better after, like, I get excited with the flying carpet and those stuff. And then Allah, He gave him knowledge. You see, flying carpet doesn't come by itself like this. You have to give knowledge, manual, exactly. So Allah gave him the knowledge of the each and everything. Really. He knew about solar, don't he? Okay. In his time, see, they fix it in his time. Amazing and wonderful miracles occurred that were it shed, I don't know what this word is saying, forgive me please, is in the memory of the people. Okay. Suleiman army was about 100 percentage, 3,500 mile long. So small, man. 3,500 mile long? What? There's a lot of Jews at that time, man. Oh, I forgot. Those are not all Jews. Are you crazy? They are human and genie and chicken. That explains why it's so long. I mean, the chicken alone, like maybe 5-6 billion, trillion. Not to mention the ducks, quack quack, and the hoopoe, and you know, all the birds, like I don't know their names. 25% were human, 25% they were jinn, 25% they were desert. Look, those are desert animals. Those are my cousins. Is he talking about the Arab animals? I am from the desert. What do you mean animals? Are you insulting us? Or you are talking about lizard? I thought the lizard is the enemy of Allah. 25% birds. 1,000 house of glass. What? Glass? Hey, brother. Suleiman, he have 700 slave girls, 300 wives. 1,000 house of glass. I think it's going to be fun to be his neighbor. Do they have curtain? Or, I mean, are they naked all the time? Don't tell Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate will recruit them and he will open business as you are. Stay as you are. I install a camera behind the glass. We open a web camera. 300 wives, 700 slave girls. Suleiman used to order strong wind to lift the house and order the soft wind to move the house slowly. Ooh. Ooh. That's amazing. This is the preserved Quran, brother? Or this is the preserved Mickey Mouse? 60 minutes with Allah. Therefore Allah revealed to him when he was between the heaven and the earth, I have increased your kingship in such a way that everybody speak any part of your kingdom. The wind will make his conversation reach toward you. Now we understand how Sulaiman was able to hear the end even though he was in the sky. Be honest with me. Don't you feel like you want to convert to Islam and the preserved Quran must be the book of God? It did not even take me 60 seconds to convert all of you. Anyone say anything in the world, the wind will carry the sound to Sulaiman. Just think about it. You are now Sulaiman. And you are blessed by Allah. And then any sound will be made. Will come to you. Any sound. You will enjoy it. It is fun. Any sound. Are you sure? Any sound will be made, will go to Sulaiman. Hey Muhammad, don't you think you are a little bit exaggerating? No? Oh my. Are you serious? No way. Any sound. Any sound. I mean, you make the sound, it goes right away to Sulaiman. And Sulaiman now is enjoying it, and he's like, wow, I'm so lucky, man. I'm so damn lucky. Unbelievable. Look at me. If somebody fought in the east or in the west, Allah blessed me, and I can hear his fart. That's not fart. That is diarrhea. And then the Muslims, they come here. Look, there's a Muslim, he says, I respect Andrew. I don't respect your Christian friends. And my friend, I'm so glad you respect Andrew because he's an admin. You don't respect me because usually I don't block people for insulting me. This is why. Hey Andrew, I respect you, don't block me, okay? Christian friends, I don't respect you. My friend, your name, I am the Muhammadan. I say your name, change it and make it, you are the potato. Because if you are a man, you call me and you tell me why you don't respect me. Why? I'm sharing with you all the beautiful stories from your Prophet Muhammad. Amazing stories, beautiful stories, historic stories. Aren't you proud? So call me as long as you are a Muhammadan and explain to us. I don't want you to respect me at all. I don't care if you respect me or not. Why you don't call me and tell me what's going on? Let us continue. Feel free, don't respect me, please. I mean, this is a Muslim respecting me, that is an insult. That means there is something wrong with me. So please don't. Because Muslim, they will respect you only if you are a hypocrite, liar, fabricator, and you don't tell the truth. The second you read for them what is in their book, you are disrespected. I'm reading your books. They get angry from you for opening their stupid books. Okay, so therefore, Suleiman, he hear everything. At-Ta'labi narrated that when Suleiman traveled in a movable equipment, he used to take along his household, his army, his servant, and his accountant, his scribe. I mean, everybody is on top of flying carpet. And they used to sit on the roof. Muslims, just a question. I mean, his accountant, his scribe, his army, his household, they sit on the roof? What? Muslims, I mean, can you tell how much your story is a story? Now I understand where the Big Bang theory is coming from. Somebody was banging his head in the roof of Solomon when he wrote this story. And he come with the theory of the Big Bang, which is proven already to be false. So all of those, brother, his household, his equipment, his army, his servants, his accountants, his scribes, all they sit in the roof next to each other at one corner? Why one corner? What happened to the other corners? Is that a unicorn house? Obviously, this house have one corner. All those, they sit on the roof on one corner. You know what? The Muslims, they don't call me because of the word corner. Because always I say to them, I will corner you even if you are in a room in the shape of a circle. You will be cornered if you call me. That's why they don't dare to call me. The word corner means terror for them. So all of those, they sit in one corner. Okay, what he do with the other three corners? He's playing golf? What the heck? One corner. True story. The kitchen of Solomon used to be with him, having large vessels. The kitchen in the top of flying carpet too, for sure, they want to eat. In which at the time, 120 camel would be cooked for one meal. No, only 100. Okay, hold on. How this guy, his army, all the way, you know, from Jerusalem all the way to Persia, and then 120 camel will be enough to feed them? I mean, do you see the stupidity? Such a huge army, only 120 camels? And by the way, as long as the journey is so long, how many camels in the top of the flying carpet? Anyway, just let it go. In the front, it was a ground for the quad-drops. I don't know what that. I'm not sure if I'm saying the word correctly. You can correct me if you wish, but may Allah curse you if you correct me, okay? Where they used to graze. Chief were busy in the cooking and the artisan busy in their craft. Everybody doing his job. The guy is doing paint, is painting. The one is fixing the glass. This one is fixing the lock. This one is fixing the fuse for the electricity. This one is installing solar system. The other one is cooking the camel. And there's artists, they are doing craft too. And the horses were tied in the front of him. And the basat, which means the carpet, was flying. Look at the details, brother. Can you see the details? A Christian is busy. He's saying to me, why in the speaker corner is only Christian and Muslims? Where is the others? I mean, look how this is a very important question. Where is the rest? Where is the rest? This Christian is busy thinking, deep thinking. Speaker corner, what you can do. What you can do. Only I can find Muslims and Christian between you. Just write a book about it. Study history maybe. Philosophy. Discuss with Aflaton and Aristo. Maybe we can find the solution. So what we are doing here, the topic we are reading for you, will mean nothing for you. You are thinking about the speaker corner. So you are here in body, but your spirit in the speaker corner? That's so deep. Anyway, let it go, let it go. What, as my cousin Sheikh Esper, he said, to fart or not to fart, that is the question. Anyway, so in the front of him, the flying carpet was flying. Hold on. The flying carpet in the front of him, so what is he? Are you saying he is not in the top of it? I mean, the Muslim, when they make a story, it's hilarious. Anyway, maybe the one who wrote it, he was thinking about the flying about the speaker corner. One day, he traveled from the outskirts of Shiraz. Shiraz? He was in Iran? He's a Persian. Toward Yemen. From Iran to Yemen. And he passed by Medina. Gas station, what you can do? I mean, the Medina is well known, gas station. Suleiman, he says, this place of Hijrah. What the heck he knew about Muhammad? And the last prophet. He knew Muhammad, he knew about him. What a good person he is. Yeah, he was having sex with 6-year-old girl, kidnapping women from their houses, sleeping with his own son, wife, sucking the tongue of his grandson, and licking the face of Osama, and wishing that he is a girl so he can dress him. And he was kissing a man down his belly, and the man, he was hugging him. Say, Prophet, this is how I want it. All right. Christian Prince, I demand you, tell us where the carpet now, and you must using it selfishly and secretly. No, this is a false accusation. You have no proof of it. Okay, and I can prove that I have right now, I am not on hold on the flying carpet. Absolutely. My family, what they do for a living is airplane hijacking. So my grandfather, he said to my dad, listen, I have only about 600 kids. From your side, there's only 97 boys over the age of 18. You use this flying carpet only to hijack the airplanes of the kuffar. That's why if you are flying, there's a place it's called Bermuda. You know Bermuda? You know Bermuda? Why they call it Bermuda? Because my dad and his tribe, they used to go to a bar in that area called Bar Moda. Moda is a girl there, She opened a bar. So you go to the bar of Moda, she's from Kuwait, and they sit there, and when they hear that there's a flight, an airplane is coming, they jump in the top of the flying carpet, and then what they do, they fly next to the airplane, and they jump in the wind. They break the windows with the hammer. My dad, by the way, he have the hammer of Thor. Yeah, he got it from. It come with the carpet anyway. Actually, it is the key for the carpet. You put it in the thing, and you turn the thing, and then the thing fly. You know the thing. So anyway, so this is so accusing me to have the flying carpet. That's absolutely false. I'm not using it now. I'm not sitting on it, and you have no proof. All right. So I got you busted. And all the stories I gave you is very authentic. And the funny is, a Muslim, he said that, do you know that Luke, he was not one of the disciples of Jesus? Yet he wrote a Bible about Jesus? Abdul, Luke was one of the 70 chosen disciples of Jesus. You are a potato. Secondly, as long you don't accept somebody, he was not with Jesus as you claim. How you accept Muhammad? And they said, he said an eyewitness. He was not an eyewitness to Jesus. So how you accept Muhammad, who was eyewitness for Solomon? How Muhammad is telling us about the flying carpet? He was an eyewitness. He was eyewitness for everybody. Solomon, Abraham, flying carpet, Tafrit. He was an eyewitness. Actually, I don't think even Muhammad have eyes. He see from different location, wrong location. We go back to our topic. So, if there is any Muslim here when I talk about the preserved Quran, this is your preserved Quran? It's a joke. So even when you fight for preservation of the Quran, we die laughing. If this is the preserved Quran, is so stupid. So what about not preserved? So you Muslim, you tell us that after you work hard to preserve the Quran, which is not Allah preserving the Quran, when the Quran, Allah said He will preserve the Quran, but what you say to us in all your videos, that the Sahaba, the companion, they memorized the Quran. So the Quran lie when the Quran promised that Allah will preserve the Quran. And the Quran says, I on me, inna alayna jam'uhu wa qur'anahu. It is on us. Who is talking? Allah. So it turned to be that the Quran is not preserved. It turned to be the Quran is not even made by Allah. The author of the Quran is quoting the ant, the donkey, the fly, the bird, quoting the genie, quoting everybody. He's not even talking in the Quran. You see, when the Christians, they speak about the Bible, we don't say that every word in the Bible God is talking. No, we don't. When God is talking, God is talking. When David is talking, David is talking. The Quran, according to Muslim, every word is the word of Allah. And then when you start studying it, you will find that the Quran is messed up and there's nothing there is true. And when we speak about the preserved Quran, we have a very famous scholar who used to be called by the Muslims their master. The Muslim, they ask him a question and they insist that he should answer it. And then disaster happened.
Knowledge knows, who studies ulum al-Quran, that the most difficult topics are ahruf and qira'at, and the concept of ahruf and the reality of ahruf and the relationship of the Uthmanic Mus'haf with the ahruf and the preservation of the ahruf. Is it 1? Is it 3? Is it 7? And the relationship of the qira'at to the ahruf. This is a topic that when you're the beginning student of knowledge, you're like, what is all of this going on here? When you go a little bit more, you learn to simply memorize what your teachers say and regurgitate it out. And you don't fully comprehend. When you do a deep dive is when things get very, very awkward and difficult. And this is...
When you do a deep dive, things get what? Awkward. Muhammadan, did you hear it? When you do a deep dive, things get what? Not a clear, not a truthful, awkward. Awkward. So why you lie when you speak about the preservation of the stupid Quran? The second you take a deep dive, you notice that something fishy. Something is awkward from your own mouth.
Is when things get very, very awkward and difficult. And this isn't new. This is from the time of the Sahaba.
This is from the time of Muhammad companions. Things is awkward. Quran is not preserved. This is not new. Even one of the companions of Muhammad, very serious person, very important figure, he was almost going to leave Islam because of this.
This is not a joke, brothers and sisters. The issue of ahruf and qira'at caused confusion to somebody whom the Prophet ﷺ said, if you want to listen to the Quran directly, listen to Ubay. Ubay is not some even average Sahabi. He is the Qari of the Quran.
This is not Lili Dawa. This is not Mimi Hijab. This is not Zuzu Zakura Nayuka. This is a companion, a serious companion of Muhammad, a Muslim trying to call us. Let us see. Yes, hello, my friend. Are you a Muslim? Nobody can hear you, by the way, only me. He's making the sound of a donkey. This is Fakira. He's making the sound of a donkey. Nobody heard you, only me. Anyway, this is why we mute in the beginning, to be sure that's not a kid. All right.
And he goes, فَدَخَلْ فِي نَفْسِي شَكْ. What is all of this?
He is what? He is the master. This guy is a master of the Quran. A suspicion entered his heart when he learned about the Quran. The Quran is just a stupid book.
Is the Qari of the Quran. He is the master. He is who he is. And he goes, فَدَخَلْ فِي نَفْسِي شَكْ. What is all of this stuff? Again, this is you are asking some very honest question. This is the first time I'm saying these things. Many people are aware who listen to my lectures that I've mentioned the crises that happened to me at Yale. This was the issue. That the issue of ahruf and preservation and qira'at and relationships between them, these are very, very difficult issues. And the most advanced of our scholars, they're not quite fully certain how to solve all of the unanswered questions in there. Here's the point. These issues should only be discussed amongst people who know what the qira'at are and who understand some of these questions that are being raised.
So is what you're saying the shak that came, or not the shak, but the crisis that you had was in relation to this question of the relationship between the ahruf and the qira'at, basically?
No. The crisis I had wasn't that. The crisis I had was, well, yeah, wait, that was what generated. But what was the crisis? The crisis was very simple. Traditional understandings of ahruf and qira'at cannot answer some of these pressing questions that are now being poked by our people outside of, by our...
Imagine Muhammad Hijab, Mimi, asking the guy, so you have a doubt about Islam because of this? This is his sheikh. The sheikh, he have a doubt about Islam. And he was invited, supposedly, to defend the Quran. And the stupid Mimi Hijab, he insists, he wants an answer now. And this guy was saying to him, brother, this is something we should discuss in a private. The Christians, even the Muslims, will be upset if we talk about it in truth. We cannot be truthful about it. This is something that have to be done in private, not in public, because the truth will make a big damage. Why you are asking me now? This is not a question to be asked in public.
Traditional understandings of ahruf and qira'at cannot answer some of these pressing questions that are now being poked by our people outside of, by our academics, by their academics outside of the faith tradition. You see, in a Muslim environment, there's always some respect that we have for the Quran. We should. In a Muslim environment, we'll press a little bit and then we'll say, okay, khalas, sami'na wa ata'na. And that's great, alhamdulillah. When you go to academia, they don't have that red line. And they're going to just, you know, the famous story of the emperor with no clothes. They're going to just point out, no, that doesn't make any sense. Well, that's not.
Muslims, did you hear it? Muhammad is naked in our eyes. Who said that? He said, when people, they study the academic way, they will find that your emperor is naked. So all the duct tape and the lies you make to duct tape is a joke. People are laughing at you. Those is something you can fool those you know, maybe some blonde American who have no idea what Islam is about. You fool people maybe in Europe who do never study. But things are changing, my friend. The internet is destroying you. Pakistan is watching my YouTube. Every day I receive an email from the government of Pakistan. YouTube saying to me, a government entity ask us to block your video for security reason. Security reason. Cowards. They think by blocking my video, they will not learn. They don't know that every single citizen in those countries, he have a proxy to watch porn. Not for my sake. According to Google, #1 country in the world search for sex with donkey is Pakistan. And I don't know what is special about what? Sex with what? Oh boy. I'm trying to find the news, but all what I find the porn websites. Hold on. It's not good to search for those things. Yeah, here we go. Pakistan top search, sex search. You know, this is all the news, but I don't know what is the update today. #1 nation, 6 website search. And what they are searching for? Since 2004. Since 2004. Donkey sex. That's so beautiful. I think all of them, they are doing scientific study about the emotion of donkeys. Oh boy. So let us go back to Yasser Kadhi from Pakistan. He can tell us he is expert with search and research.
True, and this and that. And they'll bring issues, which I'm not going to mention explicitly, that you know are true because they're in your own books. They're not inventing anything new. They'll bring you riwayat and they'll bring you athar, and then you add to that very well-known issues of, I don't even want to be explicit. And then you bring on top of that makhtutat, and then. And it's very clear to you and to every single very advanced student and specialist that the standard narrative has holes in it.
The standard narrative has holes. The Quran is a hole. Muhammad have tons of holes. So not only the Quran is full of a stupid story. If we assume that the Quran is preserved, the Quran is not even qualified to be a Mickey Mouse book. So how we can even say that this is a preserved in the book of God when this book is so stupid? The standard narrative have holes. That is a sentence people will remember for long. Actually, this guy, nobody remember his name no more. If you go right now, you type in Google, the standard narrative, right away Google, right away will suggest to you the word holes. This is how much this video have an impact thanks to Mimi Hijab. To the point it become like the most popular word.
True, and this and that. And they'll bring issues, which I'm not going to mention explicitly, that you know are true because they're in your own books. They're not inventing anything new. They'll bring you riwayat and they'll bring you athar, and then you add to that very well-known issues of, I don't even want to be explicit. And then you bring on top of that makhtutat, and then. And it's very clear to you and to every single very advanced student and specialist that the standard narrative has holes in it. That's what I'm going to say. The standard narrative does not answer some very pressing questions. These are now well known within the Western Academy, that they're bringing forth issues. Their level of now knowledge is leaps and bounds above what it used to be, 100 years ago. What is happening in the last few years is not me anymore. It's the Western academics. These problems are now becoming mainstream. And by and large, our ulama in the Eastern world are not aware.
How the Muslim scholar respond to this? Listen carefully. How the Muslim scholar responds to a serious academic study. Listen carefully what they do.
By and large, of what's going on in the Western side of things. And they're not answering those questions in a manner that it needs to be answered.
Then Muhammad Hijab has him on again. And this has to be probably the most damaging podcast, I think, to date in regards to the du'at and the destruction it caused.
Suppose this guy is smart now, He looked like a goat growing her beard. So this is damaging. I mean, any video of you is damaging, you stupid. If I play any of your videos, people would die laughing at you. But supposedly now, Muhammad Hijab is the one who did damage, not me. Because, by the way, they keep attacking each other. They keep stabbing each other in their back. This is Islamic nature. Yeah, tell us what Mimi Hijab he did. This damaging. They brought him. Yeah, you don't do that, don't you?
He goes on to Muhammad Hijab's platform and starts giving the preservation of the Quran question. Ever since that podcast, subhanAllah, those of us who are involved in da'wah, like myself specifically, I'll talk from my own experience, the amount of comments I get from Christians, from people who are against Islam and they want to sow seeds of doubts in the minds of Muslims, over and over and over again, they use speech and quotes from Yasser Qadhi from Muhammad Hijab's podcast.
We don't, but now we are using your stupid. See, they don't use his quote. We use only Mimi Hijab and Yasser Qadhi. So what are you, stupid idiot? The Yasser Qadhi, the problem is that the academic people, they are using the quote of your prophet and his companion, you idiot. So instead of refuting the issue, addressing the issue, they are attacking the person who shared the truth. Do you see how stupid they are? Your scholar, he mentioned names. He mentioned that the most close companion to Muhammad himself was almost going to leave Islam. This is a documented story. So what the Muhammadan they try to do? They always try to duct tape. And when one of them, he say the truth by mistake, not because they're honest, they try to put him down in order to save Muhammad.
To try and do that. It's like every single day on social media. The reason I embraced Islam fundamentally in the very beginning was because I saw that the Bible wasn't preserved.
You see, he saw the Bible wasn't preserved. This is why he embraced Islam. But if we go in the Quran, in 2 seconds we will find that the Quran confirming the Bible. He saw the Bible not preserved. Okay, how a book came 600 years after Jesus can confirm to you the Bible or not? I mean, are you stupid or what? Muhammad, who came 600 years after Jesus, he can tell you what Jesus said. Isn't it, this is your stupid Quran saying, confirming what is with them? What is with us? What is what? What is with us, not with you. Your God, he keeps saying, confirming what is with them. To who? To the Christian, to the Jews. And when there come to them the scriptures from Allah confirming that in their possession, which mean 600 years after Muhammad, the Bible never changed. What we have in our possession is confirmed even by your stupid prophet. I will not be surprised if this guy, he was working maybe for somebody, spying at the Muslims to earn the trust maybe. How a Muslim even can trust? You see, they say to you, in a previous post in my page, a Muslim, he spoke about Luke. He said Luke was not one of the disciples of Jesus, which is true. He was one of the 70 disciples, chosen 70. But let us assume he was not. So if Luke was a person exist, let us say 20 years after Jesus, he wrote 30, 60, 50, 70. Then how you accept someone never been in the town where Jesus lived, never saw Jesus, never heard Jesus, he don't even know the correct name of Jesus, he don't even know the God of the Bible, 99 names the God of Islam, none of them is the one mentioned in the Bible, none. So how you hypocrite, you accept a person who is filthy, trashy, child molester, rapist, he cheat in his own son, he slept with his wife, he cheat with in his wife, he sleep with the maid when the wife is not there, I mean, very evil. I mean, name for me one thing about this man is not wrong. He wear clothes of women. He pissed like women. He put eyeliner, and men, they kiss him and he kissed them down their belly. In fact, Muhammad, he said, I never receive Quran except in the clothes of Aisha. The Muslim, they say the clothes mean the house. But guess what? That means all of Islam is false, because Muhammad, he claimed he received Quran in the cave of Hira. He received Quran when he was in the house of Khadijah. So they tried to fix it. They made the word clothing as the word house. I never heard somebody saying that I never received Quran except in the clothes of my wife, and then suddenly the word clothing become house. But even if you take it that way, that will be a big problem, because this is mean Muhammad, he never received Quran in the cave. He received only Quran in the house of Aisha, which means all his stories about before marrying Aisha, he received a lot of Quran. Wasn't it true? So it doesn't matter how much they try to duct tape Muhammad to fix his stupidity, Muhammad still is stupid. Do we have any Muhammadan? Any woman, she will send me a messages in Skype. Don't force me to block you. You want to say something, say it in the chat. Only Muslim can text me in Skype, unless I say Christians can call me. And then you can text me so I can call you. Do we have any Muhammadan? I really like the preserved Quran, the flying carpet, the genie, the afrit. I like it how Solomon, he died standing and nobody noticed for a year. I want to do that. I will hold a stick in the front of my house and I will die standing. And I will stay like that for a year and nobody will notice. That is the preserved Quran. Genie, Afrit, diving for Solomon, getting him jewelries. How beautiful. A beast will come from the ground and is going to have the staff of Moses and the ring of Solomon, and will make all Muslims white and all non-Muslims black. How beautiful. I will be black finally. My dream is coming true. Allah is punishing me. All my life I wanted to be black. The filthy Muhammad, because he's racist, is teaching his people that being black is a penalty. Being black is a penalty. Today I shared a video from a black president in Patreon. I don't know how many of you saw it. A reporter from the BBC asking the black president in Africa about the value of his country. So, you know, you see that this is why those hypocrites in politics in the UK and in the West, they are so much defend Islam. They don't like Christianity because all of them, they are doing one business. They believe that they are superior. They think that they are the only one have a value, and the rest are animals. In fact, the Quran says clearly that all non-Muslims are animals, kal an'am. There's a video of a guy in YouTube. His name is Dawa something, I forgot his name. He stands and there's behind him a bunch of cows. And he said, brothers and sisters, look at those cows. They are better than those non-Muslims. Those cows are useful. And this coward, what is his job? Nothing. He make money from the Western. He is driving Mercedes. Holding a phone made by the kuffar. Even his clothing is made in China, I'm sure. And he is saying, look at them. Non-Muslims are the same as animals. And now the Western, and not all the Western, not the Christians for sure. Those are the liberals, the Democrat, the hypocrite. They want to teach the black people how you can be black. They want to teach the black people value. But look at them. They damage the value of every family in USA of those who follow them. They promote sex without marriage. They promote religion should be banned. They promote that Bible should not be taught. They promote that God should not be mentioned. After all the promotion they did in their territories, what we have? Go to Chicago. Go to New York. Go to Philadelphia. You will see cities of zombies. Theft, crimes, single mothers everywhere. No child have a father to take care of him. They are practicing Islam literally. And I find them very much similar to Islamic society. The man is sleeping around, the woman doing whatever she wants. The baby is the son of his father, doesn't matter who's sleeping with the mother, and nobody knows who is the father. Zero ethic, go steal, promoting theft, promoting crimes, and then when something happened, they blame the Christians. Do we have any Muhammadan? Anyone? Do we have any Muhammadan? I will call you shortly. No, no short. Let me call you right now. Either you call me now or no. Let us see. If you don't answer, I will block him. Okay, let me block you. I have no time for kids. Mayday, Mayday. Any Muhammadan dare to call me? Any Muhammadan dare to call me? You know, and Joe Biden, he issued a warning to Uganda because they have a law against gays. Did you ask yourself why this guy did not want to put sanctions? He said he want to put sanctions over this country because they made a law against gays. How come you don't put sanctions over Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, all those countries, Egypt, etc.? Do you see how they treat the black people? Do you see how the Democratic Party in USA, the one who claimed to be the party of immigrant and the one who defend the black, they abuse black people and they use them. They abuse them and they use them. They fool them, make them think that we are the one who defend you. In fact, they are the slaves owners. The one, if you go in history, you will see that the one was fighting for freeing the slavery, ending the slavery in USA, it was the Republican. The one was fighting to keep the slaves, it was the Democrat. The Democrat Party is like the devil. He changed his color. Yesterday they are slaves owners, today they are slaves defenders. But in reality, they don't care for you. You know, the lady who started the Black Lives Matter, she collected millions and millions of dollars. And then she took the money and she bought a house between the white people. I mean, she is trying to convince you that she is the one who will defend the black life. And then she take millions of dollars and she buy a villa in an area there's no black people live there. Do you see how much Black Lives Matter for them? And now, after all the donation, they are filing for bankruptcy. The money is gone. The same as Nancy Pelosi. She speak about we support immigrant. The second immigrant, they come to her house, she called the police. And now they are trying to force their fake false value on poor black Christian people in Africa. And because they are supremacists, they think that those black people, they have no value. We are the one who will teach them what value is. This is why anyone who votes for Democrat, he is no Christian. Because when you vote for Democrat, you vote for baby killing. You vote for homosexuality. you vote for transgender, you vote for whatever called woke culture, which is not a culture. How you can be Christian and you vote for everything which is against the Bible? So those who claim to be Christians and yet they vote for Democrat, they are themselves the soldiers of the devil. And Christ do not know you. Christ will not recognize you except being evildoer. The Lord, he says, not everyone says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of my Father, but the one who does his will. So you call yourself George, you call yourself Michael, you call yourself whatever you want to call yourself. Your name doesn't count. Your cross on your chest doesn't count. Your act count. From their fruits you shall know them. And everyone will go where he belongs. And because now these days everybody is hypocrite, nobody dare to say the wrong is wrong and right is right. It is time for us as a Christians to take a stand. Enough is enough. And the Christian who don't take a stand, he is no Christian. The Lord, he says, the one who deny me, I will deny him in the front of my Father. And when you deny what the Christ taught us, you are denying Christ. God is good, my friend, and always we will have victory, no matter who is on charge of government. No government can silence us. You know, the Roman, they tried before you heavily. They fed us to dogs and beasts. They crucified our church fathers one by one. And this is telling you how much truthful they are. Just deny the Lord and you go. We will not feed you to the beast. Just say, I don't want to be Christian. Say it. And this is why when the Mohammedan, they say, the Christian, they change their book. Who in the world want to believe in such a garbage? Those people, even the stupid Quran, is speaking about a story. Supposedly it happened almost in the time of Muhammad, that a Jewish king came to Yemen and he occupied Christian towns and cities. And he asked the Christians to leave Christianity, otherwise he will burn them alive. And this is chapter 85. If you leave Christianity, this king, he said to them, I will not burn you. He made a ditch, he made a big field, a valley, a tunnel, whatever you want to call it. And he filled it with wood and fuel. Crazy fire. And they brought thousands and thousands of Christians. And they throw them in the fire one by one. All what you need to do to be saved from the fire, just say, I deny the Messiah. I'm not going to be Christian no more. Even the stupid Quran witnessed to such a story. And guess what? They refuse to leave the Messiah. So how people with such a spirit, such a faith, such a belief, such a strength, they are going to corrupt the book? Who want to believe in such a garbage? The whole idea is the stupid Islamic cult, because they could not find a child molester in our book. Today, not in the time of Muhammad, by the way. This is new. In the time of Muhammad, Muhammad himself, he never claimed that the book they have between their hands is corrupted. Muhammad don't even know how to read it. How he can know even what is there? He can't even read his own language according to Muslims. And the Bible was only either in Greek or Hebrew or Aramaic. And obviously the most popular was exist in the Arabian Peninsula is the Greek version. This is why Muhammad in the Quran he used the word Injil, which is additional proof that Muhammad is a fraud. Because how Allah he sent down Injil to Jesus? Injil is a Greek word. That means Allah when he sent a book to Jesus, he sent him a Greek book. But why Jesus want to teach in Greek? When the Quran said, we never send a messenger except to speak in the tongue of his own people. And he have to be from the people. So if you ask the Muslim, they will say to you, Jesus was sent to the Jews. Moses was sent to the Jews. Everybody was sent to the Jews, except Muhammad was sent to everybody. But as you see, this is absolutely false. Muhammad never was sent to anyone, not even to his own people, and we can prove it from the Quran. And this is why those potatoes don't dare to call me. Do we have any brave Muslim he dare to call me? Don't send me messages, please, in Skype. I do not need your education. Can you tell me who wrote the Quran? Nobody knows who wrote the Quran. There's nothing is called Quran written. Quran is a collection of stories. Even the Muslims, they agree that the Quran is collected. So who wrote the Quran? Nobody knows. There's no book is called Quran. Never exist. Actually, until now, there's no book. They don't even have a single copy from the time of the so-called Uthman. What they claim that they have a recitation, not a book, of a guy, his name is Hafs. Which mean the Muslims, they claim that they learned a recitation of a person, his name is Hafs, not a book. He never gave them a book. And Hafs exists more than 200 years after Muhammad. There's no books. Muslims don't have any book. Do we have any Muhammadan who would like to call us? Any Muhammadan would like to call me, prove me wrong. Mayday, mayday, mayday. Be the man. I don't care if there is a hole in the narrative or not. I will make holes for you. Who can take the challenge? They go in the street and they try to speak to people who knows nothing about Islam. Do you know that Prophet Muhammad was the most merciful? You really? Yes, brother, yes. He was the most merciful. How is that? Do you know that he forgave the people of Quraysh? He killed them. And the people of Quraysh are his cousins, his family. What about you tell me about all the people he slaughtered for no reason? As an example, Bani al-Mustaliq. He attacked them when they were feeding their sheep and their camels. He took the women and the boys as slaves. He raped a woman after he killed her husband, her father, her brother in the same day. The merciful Muhammad, he cut hands, he put nails on the eyes, he enjoyed torture. Do you see how merciful he is? However, he is a merciful or not. The Quran is laughable, it is stupid, and we prove it as you see. The God who is quoting the ant. The ant she said, the bird he said, Solomon he said. So the ant she said to the bird, and the bird says to the ant, and Solomon says to the bird, and the bird he said to Solomon, and then the ant she spoke to Solomon. And you know what is funny? That the ant, when she said to the ants, hide, otherwise Solomon will crush you, Solomon, he called the ant to be brought to the court. Can you believe it? The first ant in history got arrested. Why? Because this ant, she accused Prophet Solomon that he will crush the ants. Solomon, he said to her, are you saying that I am not justice and I am going to crush those ants? She said to him, honey, you got me wrong. I told them, hide, otherwise Sulaiman will crush you. I meant they will crush their heart by the beauty Allah He gave you. The value of the ant is a great example of the wisdom of Allah. Ali ibn Ibrahim have narrated that when the wind raised the throne of Ibrahim, they meant Sulaiman, and reached the field of ants from where silver and gold comes out. As Imam as-Sadiq said, there is one valley of Allah where silver and gold is grown. Yeah, they grow silver and gold there. I saw it myself. My dad, he used to do that too. You know, we used to put zucchini in the ground and then we got back silver. True story. And has protected it with the weakest creatures like ants. Oh, the ants there to protect the value of the gold and the silver. And if a powerful army went to enter it, it cannot go to do so. Why? Because the ant, whether they will attack your army. I mean, imagine you have an army and there's ants. Who can win? We know who's going to win. Ants. Ibn Babura said, according to reliable, look, you see the word reliable? Brother, this is reliable, trustworthy. Chain of narrators narrates from the Imam as-Sadiq that when an ant conversed with others, the wind took their conversation to Sulaiman. At the time when he was on the air. So Sulaiman is flying with the F-35 in the speed of wind, and then the wind carried the voice of the ant, and then Sulaiman asked the strong wind to stop, you know, break. The flying carpet stopped in the middle of the air, and he called out the ant, "Ant, come here." And imagine you are an ant now called by King Sulaiman. You can imagine the feet of the ant. You can imagine she is shivering from fear. You know, put yourself in her feet, you know. You are an ant and called by Sulaiman himself. He stopped the flying carpet on the air. The ant came to Sulaiman. He said to who? To the ant. "Don't you know that I am a prophet of Allah? And I do not oppress anybody." Yeah, Muslims don't oppress anybody. Just they kidnap your wife, they rape her, they rape your children, they take your money, they take your land, they take your jewelries, they torture you to tell you where's the money, but they don't oppress you. And they force you to convert to Islam. But there is no oppression. And said, yes, I know, Sulaiman. So Sulaiman said, "Then why did you scare others from me and order them to enter their holes?" Holes in the narrative again. And said, I was scared that when their vision falls on you, they will become fascinated. What the heck? At the beauty of his Lord, you know. The ant, see, Prophet Solomon, he got the ant wrong. She was afraid that when the ant, they see Suleiman, they will start touching themselves and masturbate. It's so sexy. Especially all those ants are females. She said, honey, you got it wrong. I don't mean you will crush them, literally. But you will crush their heart, those females, single females. You know, as you know, we have only one queen. What is the boys? The boys, they went to do jihad. And then they see you in the top of the flying carpet. The most, you know, like there's special attraction between cars and females. At that time, there's no cars. It was a flying carpet, the most expensive flying carpet in the world. Are you kidding me? So the ants, she said, well, if they see, if their vision, if their eye fall on you, Suleiman, do you know what will happen to them? Do you know how hot you are? Can you handle the consequence of making all those women fornicate, thinking of you? And then Suleiman, he thought about it. Oh, okay. So she said, Suleiman, he said to her, okay. Who is more? The ant, she said to Suleiman, look at the debate, guys. I mean, do you see that this ant she is really skilled? Not only she speak to the ant, now she is speaking to Suleiman. The ant, she said to him, who is more honorable, you or your father? What the heck? This is a tricky question. Who is more honorable, you or your father Dawood, which means David? Suleiman said, my father is much more esteemed and honorable than me. The ant, she said, look here, this is, here is this, to see the skills of debate. The ant, she said, then why is it that your name has more alphabet than your father's name? Oof. Suleiman got busted. He said that his father is more honorable, but Suleiman did not notice that his name has more alphabet than the name of his father. How many of you, your name is longer than the name of your father? Give me one. If your name is longer than the name of your father, please give me one. Nobody here, his name is longer than the name of his father? I know my voice takes some time to arrive to you. Okay. Look how many people now, their name is longer than the name of their father. Smash Allah, subhanallah. Okay, all of you are more honorable than your father. From now on, you go to your father right now, stand in front of him and tell him, listen, Dad, who is more honorable, you or me? He will say, son, I'm your father. Say to him, listen, did you listen and watch the debate face to face between Mrs. Ant and Prophet Solomon? He will say, heck no. You grab him from his ear, you bring him in front of the screen, and let him read the wisdom and the proof that you are more honorable. And then your father, he will go to the government and he will change your name. Your name is not going to be George or Matilda, or no, your name will be the Honorable George, the Honorable Matilda. Why? Because your father, his name is Joe, not George. George is more honorable. The longer the name, the more honorable you are. Here you see that Islam is a heavy-duty philosophy. Islam not only just a religion from God. It touch your testicles first by promising you a lot of virgins who obviously they are not. Because if Muhammad will be there, do you think he will get any virgin? Good luck. He touched your stomach by promising you banana. Have you ever heard of a God? He speak about banana. He promised us banana in heaven. I mean, this Allah, he thought about everything. So how come there's no coconut? A river of wine, he want us to be drunk. A river of milk, he want us to drink milk. A river, two spring of water. Brother, it's time for all of you to convert. Today you learned a lesson of wisdom from the ant. Subhanallah. An ant is teaching Prophet of Allah wisdom. An ant. Put the link in the comment section. The link for this. Always I show in the screen the title. You see, just search on your side here. Anytime you want to find something, freeze my screen. Type the exact like one line in Google, you will find it. The account of Suleiman, and this is an islam.org website. An account, so if you search in Google for this, you will find it. Or if you search for this. So even if you are, watching the video later, just type exactly the same word, or, type it, Google will help you. Very simple. Do we have any Muslim would like to help us? Mayday, mayday. Anyone? All right, looks like we are out of customers. If you don't download my previous videos, please feel free. I'm loading videos, they are short, and they are under videos, not under live. And usually, for some reason, they don't appear in the main page. So feel free to download them before we take them down. As you know, I always do, I clean my channel from my videos, but you can find always my videos in different channels. But I advise you to download them, especially if they are full of reference. As you see, my friends, Islam is so stupid. It doesn't matter if the Quran is preserved or not. In fact, for us, we prefer Muslim to believe Quran is preserved, because that will make it easier for us to beat Muhammad and his false cult, because then they cannot escape the embarrassment. They cannot say, oh, this is somebody, he fabricated his story. It's preserved, brother. Preserved. The preserved Quran is a stupid Quran. So who care if your Quran is preserved or not? As you say, your Quran is stupid. And in the beginning we showed you a long page in one book only, written by Imam As-Suyuti, and I will post the link again, and the link actually is in the info. You can open it with Google translation. As-Suyuti alone, in the book about the imperfection of the Quran, or let us say to learn the Quran, he is quoting 57 story proving the demolition and the change and the missing and the lost Quran, which mean the corruption of the Quran. 57 story, all is authentic, collected by Muslims, written by Muslims, printed by Muslims, gathered by Muslims, transformed to us by Muslims, and the website is a Muslim website, and the book is a Muslim book, and this is a sheikh. This is one of the biggest sheikh, actually, Mimi Hijab, he mentioned his name in the video about error in the Quran more than 50-60 times. So this is not just a guy saying things. All those references you see in the screen, endless, proving the change and the corruption of the Quran, speaking about thousands of verses are missing. Different reading and different recitation and different words and different meaning, oppositions in meaning. Chapters, most of it are totally gone. So when the Muhammadan, they make all those statements about the preservation of the Quran, this is not what their scholars teach. And then you ask yourself, what is the decency, what is the honesty? Why their book says the Quran was not preserved, but in their videos they claim, yes, it was preserved. Because Islam based on zero ethic. You can lie in Islam. Many people do not know that. A Muslim, not only he can lie to Muslims, not only he can lie to his wife. A Muslim, even he can take false oath in the name of his God. The Quran says Allah will not take you accountable for your false oath. So if you ask a Muslim, can you swear by Allah that the Quran is preserved? He will. Because the Quran says, don't worry about it. I will take you accountable only for what you meant. In your heart, you don't believe in the oath you are saying. That's fine. That's fine for me. You are lying. That's fine for me. Allah will not take you accountable for your false oath. In chapter 3, verse number 28, even the Muslim, they have no shame to teach their children that you can speak to non-Muslims in a friendly way, saying to them that you are their friends, but your heart is dislike this. Your heart dislike that. And if you are truthful to take them as a friend, if you are truthful to give them honor, if you are truthful to friendship and to be sincere in your friendship with them, if you do that, you have no honor in Islam. You are not even a Muslim. You have no connection with Allah. You have no honor, no mercy, no protection, which means Muslims have the right to kill you if you are a Muslim who is sincere when he speaks to Christians and Jews. You can say to them, I'm your friend, only if you guard yourself from them, save yourself from them, taking it as real security, saving yourself from them by speaking in a friendly way toward them, while your heart dislike this. My friends, there's no question. This is the religion of the devil. They speak to you friendly, but their heart is full of hatred. And a Muslim, he take you as a friend, he is not a Muslim no more, if he mean it. This is why when somebody says, I have a Muslim friend, I laugh at his ignorance. Muslims cannot take you as a friend. Chapter 3, verse 28, chapter 5, verse 51, chapter 9, 29, and etc. A Muslim even cannot take his own parents as parents, his own family as family. The Quran said, you will not find one Muslim love those who oppose Allah, even if they are his parents, his clan, his brothers and sisters. So how they cannot even take their own family as a friends, and then you are convincing me that you have a Muslim friend? That is your ignorance. You will not find folk who believe in Allah and the last day loving those who oppose Allah and His Messenger. The Muslim, they might say to you, oh, those are waging war. No. Anyone who don't believe in Islam, he is opposing Allah and His Messenger. Anyone. Islam teach that the earth is divided between the land of war and the land of peace. And the land of war is any land don't accept Islam. They are an enemy, we have to conquer them. You will not find one person is loving, even to their family. This is a pure satanic cult. The Muhammadan they follow have nothing to do with God. Our Lord, our Savior, he said, love your enemy, bless those who curse you. This religion saying everything evil, trying to spread hatred, bloodshed, killing between mankind. Even the Quran make it so clear in chapter 5 verse 14 that Allah will spread hatred and enmity between the Christians and each other. And the same he said to the Jews in chapter 5 verse number 64. Allah he spread enmity. Allah is the devil. He wants the Christians to hate each other. This is why I say to you, the one who called himself a Christian and he tried to divide us as Catholic, Protestant, Orthodox, those are not serving Jesus. Those are serving the devil. That devil, literally. Those who divide the Christians are not priests. The verse in front of you. This is a statement coming from the mouth of the devil himself. I will spread hatred and enmity between the Christians until the day of judgment. If Christ he order us to love even our enemies, how we can hate our brothers and sisters in Christ? Doesn't matter what church they belong to. Even if somebody is wrong, you correct him, you don't hate him. You correct him, you don't hate him. You don't throw rocks at him. Don't play God. Give to God what God do, and do what you need to do. So I say to you, anyone he contribute in division between the Christians, he is serving the devil Muhammad. You don't believe me? It's in front of you. This is his plan. The plan is open. It's not a secret. It's in front of your face. Never listen to the dividers. The one who unites you is the Messiah. We don't follow priests. I can be wrong about understanding something. You can be right about understanding something. But both of us, we understand one clear thing, that the Messiah is our Savior, and there is no other Savior. And if I am wrong, and you could not correct me, with the Lord, he will judge me and judge you by your heart and your act and your fruits. Don't think you will be more just than the Messiah himself. Be loving, be giving, be Christian. In the same time, when we speak about being loving, doesn't mean we give hugs. Loving, it can be insulting, because you have to say the truth, and when you say the truth, somebody will be insulted. If you make a speech and nobody insulted, that means you said nothing. Literally. If you make a speech and nobody get offended, that means your speech was wind, meaningless, useless. If you don't believe me, go and read the speeches of the Messiah. He offended everybody. They wanted to kill him not because he was saying what they like to hear. They wanted to kill him because he was offending them heavily. The one who don't offend, he spoke nothing, he said nothing, he did nothing. Because he is being obviously politically correct. When you are politically correct, that means you are just a hypocrite man. You change your words by changing location and time and date. So if today time they speak against this group, you go against it. Tomorrow this group is good, we go with it. This is exactly, by the way, what Islamic religion teach and practice. When Trump was in the office, Trump is their God. Trump is gone, suddenly America is nobody. Because now they feel American, they have a weak president. They fear, they don't respect. We Christians, we fear no one. And even when we speak about God, we don't fear God, but we fear to lose the love of God. The reason we say we don't fear God, because our God is our Father. And a child, he don't fear his father, for his father is all loving. As soon as the relationship between you and your God, your Maker, is a relationship between son and father, fear is not there. Love is there. For God, he loved the world, he sent his only begotten Son. Between us, the relation is not relation of fear, even though God Almighty, who can challenge him? Who can oppose him? Who can say no to him? Yet, the Almighty God, he don't want us to be slaves. He wants us to call him, speak to him as Father. When we pray, we don't say God, we say our Father. That is telling you how loving, how amazing, how beautiful the Almighty God we worship. With all his power, and all of us is nothing, yet he let you say the word our Father. Imagine you are entering, someone is a massive, powerful king, and you are just a girl or a guy who is in the kitchen. He cook, or he clean the dust, or he clean the stable, or clean the poo-poo. You have nothing, you are nobody. And then you go to this king. And then when you enter upon him, you say to him, Father. Isn't it amazing? You don't call him God. You say, Father. How loving. How beautiful. How special. The relationship in Christianity is way beyond noble. We cannot compare it to the satanic cult of Muhammad, where everybody is a slave of everybody. It's a chain of slavery. With Christ, my friend, you are a child of God. You are prince and princess. You are noble. Even though you are nobody. I say that the one who follows the devil, they will join him in his heaven, and that is the devil heaven, which is nothing but hell, where he promised you his casino, sex with boys and children and women, sperm, semen flying on the air, 70 years orgasm, non-stop sex. That is Islam. And those who belong to Jesus, they will be with the holy angels. They are the likeness of angels, praising God, enjoying eternity in a joy cannot be described by physical joy. If Muhammad could not describe heaven except sex and food and banana, our God who gave us all the joy in this earth, don't you think he can give us a joy have nothing to do with any of those? God Almighty, heaven is not a pimp house. Even when God, he created Adam and Eve, he created one man, one woman. So if the purpose is man and women, then should be man and women, not man and hundreds of thousands of women. In the heaven of Islam there is slaves. Well, if in heaven there is no justice, it is the same as the earth. You ask the Muslims, who are those slaves? They will say to you, God created them to serve you. 80,000 little boys. Well, this God is disgusting. And the one who enjoy 80,000 little boys serving him for eternity is more disgusting. For this is not godly behavior. What is the guilt of those boys to be my slaves? What is the guilt of those women to be my sex slaves? What kind of heaven this heaven is? Muhammad, he tried to tempt you by sex and money and food. Jesus, he invites you by love and giving and sacrifice. He loves you. He gave you. He sacrificed himself to you. We cannot compare between the kingdom of Satan, which is Islam, and the kingdom of the Messiah, holy his name. As we speak of him, he is now listening to us. He said, every two of you talking about me, I will be in the middle. Allah cannot even hear the Muslims. He come every third part of the night to ask who is praying. Jesus, you speak of him anytime. He is listening. Knock and I will answer you. I will open for you. That is my Lord. Who is yours, Muslims? The one who promised Muhammad the power of 4,000 men for sex? Is Muhammad God collecting horses, animals, or human in his heaven? Why Muhammad have the power of 4,000 men in sex? Is that the ID and the proof that you are good? Here you see the difference. With the Messiah, your power is not the power of sex. It is the power of love and sacrificing yourself. How loving, how giving you are. Not how selfish you are. Because even when you think about sex, you think about yourself. This is why in Islam there is no marriage. There is nikah, which means nothing but a contract of ifing. In Christianity, there is marriage, and the marriage is the man and the woman, they enjoy each other by being united under God to make a family. not to share a bed. The bed is not the purpose. The family, which is love, is the purpose. In Islam, the bed is number 1, and number 2, and number 3, and number 4. And even their heaven, even their belief, even their prayer, even their salvation is just for the sake of the sex. It's not even for God. When somebody bring you a gift, the gift speak about the person. If somebody give you a flower, that means he like a flower. If somebody give you a book, that means he like to read. If somebody give you porn, that means he love porn. So who is Allah? And why his gift is a porn? Unless he is the devil. And then you ask yourself, what is the gift? If I invited Jesus now to my birthday, which I never celebrate, if he come to me, or if I want to go to him, what gift he will give me and what gift I will give him? Why the Messiah did not promise me a lot of women for sex? The answer is very simple. From their fruits you shall know them. That is not the fruits of the Messiah. That is not the words of the Messiah. That is not the value, not the level. That is the devil when he promised you such a promise. You give from what you have. You cannot give something you don't have. So Muhammad don't promise them love, he promised them sex. He did not promise them joy with God, he promised them sexual joy with penis and vagina. For he is low. And now we understand why the Messiah, he said, I am from above, you are from below. For he is the Holy One, and the Holy speak holiness, promise holiness, give holiness, live as holy, die as holy, resurrected as holy, and now he is in the holy heaven. For he belonged there. I am from above. Muhammad is from below. Below the below. He is from the west and down. All his religion is based from the west and down. No heart, no love, no compassionate with God. You don't even know God, you don't even care for God. You care only for sexual promises. If we take the sexual promises from Islam, there's nobody will be a Muslim. And this is why they exist. The sex, the food, the money, the gold, the silver, the wine are the only promises in heaven. Even the pillow. It's a casino. If there is no wine, there's no women, there's no gambling, there's no boys, there's no sex, nobody will go to the casino. So the casino owner, Aka Allah, Aka Muhammad, he knew what the customers want, so he promised them, whatever you want, in my casino, you will find. In the other hand, the Messiah, he don't have a casino. This is why those who will come to him, they will be unique. They are not people interested in money, neither in sex and penises and vagina worship. They are interested to live with the Holy Lord, and they trust him that he can give them a joy which cannot be compared to anything, have nothing to do with sex, have nothing to do with food, have nothing to do with money. The joy of being with the Lord for eternity Nobody can explain, because the one who created us, he can create something better of us and for us. So my friends, my family, listen not to the devil. We expose him every day. And as you see, they are cowards to call me. They will call you only if you know nothing, if you have zero education about Islam, if you are a person who do not even know your gospel. Only then they will be happy to debate you. The second they see someone will bring tsunami, distress and disaster to their God and their false prophet, they disappear from the atmosphere. Thank you all for being here. May the Lord bless you. And this is your brother Christian Prince, was serving you humbly for today. Don't forget to give a like if you don't mind, and leave us dislike if you don't mind, depending on what you think, and leave a comment and share. Be fair. Thank you.